just keep going.
Consistency. Yeah, absolutely. And it's the people that do it when there's no reward for doing it that really make something. Like,
you've got to love it.
You've got to love it, because sometimes it's hard, and sometimes when you're so open and you're so online, and you're very vulnerable, you're in a very vulnerable place, and you're putting yourself out there, and there's reasons that you're doing that, and they're all good things, but sometimes that can attract some negative things as well. And so it's something that you've got to really be passionate about doing.
Can I ask you about schools? I know you do a lot of talks in schools to inspire kind of young people and stuff. Why is that kind of important to you?
Probably because I found that route so difficult, and I think that it just feels like I was lost for a really long time, and I want to help that generation and help those students and young people, help them see that there is something else out there, and they don't have to be perfect right then, and they can make mistakes, but it doesn't what you do in that life, in that moment, doesn't define your future. And I think that's really important. And when I was that age, there wasn't anyone that I could see that was like me. There was, and I think having visibility to someone that looks like you and sounds like you and has been through similar things to you, I think that's really important.
I interviewed Doug Dinwiddie, who I know you know from my digital 2 weeks ago, I think, and when he was sharing his story, and actually before him, there's been a few people. Often people that have had elements of challenge in their life often go into entrepreneurship because you know what it's like to not have it, and you know how the hustle is. But actually it's that balance of where at some point the school system wasn't working for you, but I never had that growing up, the kind of role models or the foresight on different stuff. So I think it is kind of super important.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a lot. There's a lot changing now. There's a lot more inclusivity in society in that generation. I think gender fluidity, and you're really accepted with who you want to be. But it's still not easy. It's still challenging. There's additional challenges that come with that, and just because you can be who you want to be, it doesn't mean it's easy to do that. And obviously, all of the pressures of social now, it was just coming in when I was going through school, and can you imagine what it's like to be in school now with there's no escape because of social media. There is no escape for that generation. So I can just imagine how hard that can be for some people sometimes.
Yeah, I get it. I'm 38 now, so I'm old as anything, but it's just I'm with you that I remember the first time I ever discovered the internet. This was in 1996. And it blew my mind, but it was just the idea of now. So say if you were getting bullied at school in the 90s when I was at school, you go home, you're probably okay. Now with phones, and there could be fake accounts, it'd be awful. And it's that balance.
It just wouldn't end. Yeah, there's no escape from that. None. It must be really, really difficult, and not even like just a bullying aspect, which must be horrific to live through that now. But then there's also the aspirational aspect of it. Like everyone's so perfect online. It's not real anymore. There's not. You can't see real people that look real. Like it's all perfect and polished, and you see what people want you to see, and having to live up to those standards must be really difficult to get your head around at that age.
Before we came on, me and Chloe were talking about how it is different doing stuff live as we're pre-recorded, but for that very reason I like the authenticity, because if I fumble my words, you see, or it's but I think it's more trustworthy than we've probably both made videos where you can do like 20 takes and you try and pick the best one. But for me, after you've done like 10, you're dead behind the eyes. You're not passionate in what you're saying. It's almost the fact that you have to do it perfectly, not perfectly, but do it well once. For me, it's just better. I just kind of prefer that.